Do this, and people will respect you immediately. Command. Respect. Respect is not a birthright. It is not gifted by fate, nor is it handed out like participation trophies. Respect is commanded. It's seized, forged in fire, and carved into the minds of those around you. Some men enter a room, and the entire atmosphere shifts. People straighten up. Eyes follow them. They barely need to speak, and yet everyone listens. Others, they could wave their arms, raise their voices, and still be ignored, forgotten like a weak echo in a storm. So what is the secret? Why do some men naturally command respect, while others fade into irrelevance? It's not luck, it's not wealth, it's not brute force, it's presence, it's composure, it's the unshakable certainty in the way they carry themselves. If you want to be that man, the man whose words hold weight, whose presence demands attention, whose energy speaks volumes, then listen closely. Because once you internalize these principles, you won't just earn respect, you will own it. 1. Speak less, say more. Weak men talk too much. They explain themselves unnecessarily. They overshare. They fill silences with empty words because they fear being forgotten. But powerful men, they understand the weight of silence. Have you ever noticed how the most respected men in a room don't rush to speak? They let others burn out their energy first. They listen, they process. And when they do speak, every word hits. Imagine two men in a meeting. One speaks first, desperately trying to prove his intelligence, listing facts, over-explaining. The other waits, listening, and when the room finally falls quiet, he leans forward slightly and says, "That's all unnecessary. Here's the solution." Boom. Silence. Respect commanded. Stop talking just to fill the air. Make your words count. When you speak, people should lean in, not tune out. 2. Master the art of controlled reactions. A man who cannot control his emotions cannot command respect. If you're quick to anger, easily offended, or visibly frustrated, you reveal one thing: weakness. The world respects men who can hold their composure under pressure, who don't flinch at insults, and who remain unshaken in the face of provocation. Look at the men who truly hold power. They do not yell. They do not explode with rage. They do not react like children throwing tantrums. Instead, they control the energy of the room through their calmness. If someone insults them, they do not flinch. If chaos surrounds them, they remain still. And because they remain in control, everyone else follows their lead. Someone tries to belittle you in a conversation. The weak man snaps back, gets defensive or worse, tries too hard to prove himself. The strong man, he smirks. Maybe he tilts his head slightly, lets a pause settle in, and then says, "You done?" Respect secured. He didn't match the other person's weak energy. He maintained his own. Next time someone tries to provoke you, do nothing. Let their words die in the air. Then, when you do respond, do it calmly and deliberately. Nothing makes a man more powerful than unshakable composure. 3. Stop seeking approval. Start setting standards. Nothing destroys respect faster than needing it. The man who craves validation, who bends to please everyone, who is afraid of disappointing others, he is doomed to be ignored. Respect is never given to those who beg for it. It is given to those who stand firm in their own value. The men who command respect are the ones who set standards and never lower them. They decide how they will be treated, what they will tolerate, and what they refuse to entertain. Their presence alone makes people reevaluate their own behavior because they do not conform, they define. Imagine a man in a group setting. The conversation turns to gossip and petty talk. He doesn't engage, he stands firm. And when asked why he's so quiet, he simply shrugs and says, "I don't waste my time on things that don't matter." Instantly the tone shifts. People subconsciously start measuring their own words, because when a man has standards, others take note. Stop adjusting yourself for approval. Decide your standards and enforce them. If something does not align with your values, walk away. People respect men who do not bend. 4. Carry yourself like a king, not a beggar. Respect begins before you even say a word. It's in the way you walk, stand, and move through the world. A man who carries himself like a king, with self-assurance, strength, and quiet authority, commands respect effortlessly. But a man who carries himself like a beggar, desperate for approval, seeking validation, shrinking in the presence of others, gets ignored, overlooked, or worse, disrespected. The secret is in your posture, your demeanor, and the energy you radiate. A man who respects himself moves with purpose, not hesitation. He doesn't fidget nervously. He doesn't avoid eye contact, and he never slouches as if he's apologizing for existing. Instead, he stands tall, shoulders back, chin up, as if he owns every room he walks into. Imagine two men entering a room. One walks in with his head down, avoiding eye contact, taking small, uncertain steps. He practically announces that he's uncomfortable in his own skin. The other man walks in slowly, deliberately, making eye contact, moving with calm confidence. Who do you think people will respect? It's not about arrogance, it's about certainty. The man who looks like he belongs is treated like he belongs. This applies in every area of life. When you sit, own your space. When you walk, move with direction, not hesitation. When you speak, do so with clarity, not doubt. Kings don't beg for approval. They act as if they already have it. And when you behave like a man who expects respect, the world has no choice but to give it to you. Train yourself to move with purpose. Slow down your movements, improve your posture, and own your space. Act as if you are worthy of respect, because you are. 5. Dress like you give a damn. Before people hear a word from you, they see you. And whether you like it or not, they judge you. First impressions happen in seconds, and how you present yourself dictates whether you command respect or get dismissed before you even speak. A man who respects himself dresses well, not for vanity, but for presence. He understands that the way he looks tells the world how he sees himself. A sloppy, unkempt appearance screams, "I don't care." And if you don't care, why should anyone else? But a well-dressed man, groomed and put together, signals strength, self-respect, and attention to detail. Two men apply for the same job. One shows up in a wrinkled shirt, untucked, with unpolished shoes. The other arrives in a sharp, well-fitted outfit, carrying himself like someone who belongs in the room. Even if their qualifications are the same, who do you think makes the stronger impression? It's not just about fashion, it's about the message your appearance sends. The same applies in everyday life. When you go out, dress as if you expect to be respected. You don't need expensive clothes. You just need clean, well-fitted and coordinated outfits that show you put effort into yourself. This is about self-discipline and standards. How you do one thing is how you do everything. A man who is careless with his appearance is often careless in other areas of his life. Audit your wardrobe. Get rid of anything that makes you look weak, sloppy, or unpolished. Invest in clothes that fit well and make you look like a man who values himself. Because when you dress like you give a damn, people treat you like you matter. 6. Control your energy. Never chase. Nothing kills respect faster than chasing, whether it's people, attention, approval, or validation. A man who chases signals lack of value. A man who is centered, selective, and detached from needing approval commands instant respect. Respected men never beg for attention. They never try too hard to be liked. They don't flood people with messages. They don't overextend themselves for those who wouldn't do the same for them. And they never seek validation from outside sources. Instead, they stand firm in who they are, and that energy is magnetic. Picture two men in dating. One constantly texts first, overthinks his messages, and anxiously waits for a reply. The other sends a message and goes about his life, unbothered whether she responds or not. Who do you think she respects more? Who holds more power? It's the man who values himself enough not to beg. The same principle applies to friendships, business, and life. People naturally respect what is scarce and valuable. The moment you become too available, too eager, too dependent on external approval, you lose power. But when you move with self-sufficiency, when your energy is controlled, when you don't need anyone's validation, respect follows effortlessly. Stop chasing. Let people come to you. If they don't, move on without a second thought. Your energy is valuable. Don't waste it proving yourself to those who don't see your worth. 7. Stand for something, even if you stand alone. Nothing earns respect faster than conviction. In a world full of people who change their opinions based on trends, who fold under pressure, who betray their own beliefs just to fit in, the man who stands firm stands out. And people respect him for it. Respected men don't follow the crowd. They have principles they live by, lines they will not cross, and values they refuse to compromise, no matter the pressure. Even if it means standing alone, they do not bend. And because of that, people know exactly where they stand. Imagine you're in a group of people gossiping about someone behind their back. You refuse to engage. You don't participate in negativity, and you make it clear you don't tolerate disrespect when the person isn't around. At first, people may resist, even mock you, but over time, they'll respect you. Because strength isn't in following, it's in standing firm. This applies to everything in life, whether it's your morals, your boundaries, your beliefs, or your vision for yourself. You must be willing to uphold them, even when it's uncomfortable. Most people fold because they fear rejection. But true respect isn't given to those who blend in, it's given to those who stand out. Define your non-negotiables. What do you stand for? What will you never tolerate? Live by those principles and never compromise them, not for approval, not for popularity, not for comfort. Because when you stand for something, people have no choice but to respect you. Final thoughts. Respect is not something you ask for. It's not something you wish for. It's something you command. From the way you speak, to the way you move, to the way you carry yourself, every moment is an opportunity to project power or surrender it. So ask yourself, do you want to be the man people listen to, or the man they ignore? Because at the end of the day, respect is not given. It's taken. Now go out there and take it.